Alright guys, so we're back with another documenting the journey. I think this is the 9th one. And yeah, I didn't do one last week. It's kind of no excuses really. I just forgot and I think I was busy doing some stuff. But it's okay because, to be honest, I think it's nice sometimes maybe doing a 2-week interval because there's probably more to talk about. It's a bit more interesting perhaps. I don't know. I'll try not to make excuses, but yeah. We will continue trying to do them every week. So what's new, what's changed? To be honest, the main thing that's changed is I've switched over from Twitter mainly as a source of kind of leads to cold emailing mainly, right? So Twitter, to be honest, it was a nice run, let's say. I'm still continuing to do it, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not focusing on it as a single source of leads because I just don't think that it's as efficient as just doing cold email outreach that is like super specifically targeted, right? Because not all of the prospects that I'm after are actually on Twitter. There's a lot of other agency owners on there. It's been really good to network with those guys, connect with them. There's been a few leads sort of passed around and whatnot. So that's been good. I can't remember whether I told you on the video 2 weeks ago that there was one other client that was added, but it's just like a temporary one, more of an audit kind of thing. So that was good. So yeah, I guess the main meat of like the video today is probably going to just be about like cold emailing, right? Which is something that's sort of new to me in a way. It's nothing that I've done a lot of before, to be honest. So I'm using a platform. I'm not going to tell you what it's called, just because it's kind of like my secret sauce for the moment. I'm sure you probably find it if you Google hard enough, but basically it allows me to find loads of leads, literally thousands of leads, all in e-com who, you know, the CEOs of e-com businesses or founders of e-com businesses, email them directly, right? So what I've done is I've set up like, just like literally like what I do normally for CRO is like set up a conversion rate optimization test, right? So setting up just a simple A/B test between 2 email flows, each with 3 emails in staggered across 2 weeks. Which is quite, I don't know, some people probably say that's quite a conservative approach, but given it's cold email, you don't want to basically piss people off. I think it's good for now. So I've run quite a few people through this so far. I think we've got, let me just check here because I'm looking at my Mac. We've got about 500 in total split across 2 of those email campaigns, which you could say that's a lot or not a lot. You know, it really depends on how many people actually come through. I've got a 35% open rate on version A and a 31% conversion rate, or open rate, sorry, I should say, on the B version. And a reply rate of 4 emails from, let's see, about 200 people on the first and about 280-ish on the second. I've only got like 1 reply on that, right? So obviously there's a clear winner there, which is nice. So I'm kind of getting into the flow of being like, oh, okay, this is interesting, this is working, this is not, which is great. Have I had actually any clients close from this yet? No. However, I'm feeling pretty positive because basically, as I say, like from roughly 200 leads, which hasn't been particularly difficult to gather, I've already got 1 guy who's lining up a call with me next week from that. So if you take that into account, you say, okay, well, 200 generates 1 sales call, then hopefully 1,000 is going to generate 5, and of those 5, how many can I close? That's the question we don't know yet from this channel. But the point is that I think this is already starting to generate more potential sales calls than what I was doing on Twitter. So it's important for me to keep up what I'm doing on Twitter just so that, you know, I've got that social presence and stuff. But ultimately, I don't think it's where the most business is going to come from, at least not in the short term. So yeah, let's just see what happens with Twitter and whatnot going forward. But I just don't see it as like a really strong platform for getting leads. I just don't think there's that many e-com founders on Twitter as compared to like the amount that I'm finding through just, you know, LinkedIn and other like email platforms like the ones I'm using right now. So That's where we're at with it really. I've actually got a call as well in like half an hour, so that's why I haven't got the microphone and set up properly. I'm in a bit of a rush to do this, edit it and then get it out and then take this call. But this is a call with the guy that I met literally I think it was at one of the conferences, can't remember which one it was, I think it was Affiliate World, and he might be interested in some CRO or design services, I'm not actually sure which yet. So that's going to be interesting to find out. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I kind of wish I could make the video after that, but I've got so much stuff to do after that call as well. So I guess I will update you on the next video about that, let you know how that went. And I think that's pretty much it. Things are ticking along. You know, I really wanted to hit, as I said, I think 20K. That's the goal, monthly recurring profit. We're not there at all. But the thing is, I'm feeling like I'm making much better headway into that space now, which is good in terms of like getting leads and having a consistent system that I can now optimize. Because with Twitter, it felt like a bit of a stab in the dark. Like, okay, I can see what posts are more engaging. If I'm posting more polarizing stuff, it gets more engagement. And like, to be honest with you, that's not really what I want to be doing. I don't want to be posting just like polarizing like opinions and hot takes just to get like engagement and stuff. And it's just going to create camps of people that like you and don't, and then camps of people that don't like you. And it's just like a little bit, it's not bad, but it's just like a bit misguided, you know? It's like, this is not particularly a direct target and focus towards the people that I want to target ultimately, that, you know, need my services. It's a bit of a messy way to do it, I think. But it is a way, so can't credit to the people that do it really well. Because there are quite a few people who do. So yeah, that's it really. I'm just going to carry on with this method, I think. So it's September now. I've got like a solid 3 months of just like getting my head down, continue to go to the gym, I'm eating loads more, I'm having to sleep a lot more. Probably can see I'm quite tired because I'm training harder. So there's a lot of that, like mixing in with like doing more work as well. But again, now I've got this system that I can optimize. It's nice. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna basically send out like 5 times the amount of emails for the email flow that's worked the best, and then I'm going to see if I can replicate this similar statistics and results, because obviously 200 isn't a very big sample size. So we're just going to see what happens with that going forward, and fingers crossed that's going to be one of the ways that we're really going to get the ball rolling here, because that has been the sticking point. It's like, where are the clients? Like, it's really difficult. I was having an interesting conversation with a friend as well, and he was like, well, I think doing UX UI only would be better, because it's like, it's very easy to sell like pretty design and branding and stuff like that. I was like, well, I don't actually think that's the case, because first of all, how do you know, or how can you target people who need UX UI design? That's quite a lot harder than targeting people who already run e-com stores. They've already got brands, they've already got businesses, they're already advertising themselves and their businesses, so they're very easy leads to acquire. And then you can obviously go forth to them and then strike up the conversation. But it's much harder with UX UI to do that, because the greenfield projects, like, you just have to have very good marketing in general, and probably more kind of like PPC advertising and stuff like that to get people knowing about your agency. Maybe it's something I do in the future, but right now focusing on the cold stuff, and the cold stuff seems much easier to do for CROs, so that's still where we're keeping the focus for now. And yeah, in terms of life, honestly, I've just been feeling like I always get this itch, like when I get my head into work, that I'm just like not living life in some kind of way. I know that sounds bad, but it is just the truth, honestly. It gets me down when I'm just spending all my days inside, to be honest, and not exploring or, you know, meeting people, or, you know, just absorbing culture in some way, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to take a trip to Portugal just for like a long weekend, probably in the next like 8 weeks or so, something like that, to see a friend, and then we'll see what happens. As I say, I've got like Asia very much at the forefront of my mind to do some point soon, but probably it's going to have to be in the new year. But it's so tempting to just be like, why do I need to stay here? Surely I can just do all this and travel. But I think until I found a system that is working, at least at some level, I don't think that I've almost like, I don't feel like I've deserved that right yet, even though I can go and do it effectively. Like there's nothing actually stopping me. So yeah, I think it's just like, once I've got this down, I'm going to feel much more like, cool, right, now we can, mix in a little bit of like traveling, or at least just staying in a new place, not necessarily moving around too much, and then continuing to run the business. But until I think I've got to that point, I need to sort of rein back in and stay focused for these like upcoming 2-3 months. It's September, so September, October, November. I'm gonna go to London probably in December, and then after that, maybe back to Barcelona for a month, and then Asia. That's sort of my game plan. So yeah, anyway, I'm probably just rambling now. This is quite like a therapeutic thing for me, because oftentimes I don't even know what I'm going to talk about before I turn on the camera, and then I kind of start to figure it out as I start talking. So I hope it hasn't been too rambly. But yeah, there you go. That's everything for this week. Going to continue on emailing fuckloads more people. And yeah, we'll see what happens. And then yeah, get traveling as soon as possible so that I feel like I'm actually living life again at some level. So yeah, I think that's it, and catch you in the next one. Peace.